Hi, I'm Kathy Shields, and I'm going to walk you through some of the basics of APA style. APA is the citation style of the American Psychological Association and has been adopted by many other disciplines. For the full APA style rules, you can consult the style manual, but this is APA simplified, so I'm going to cover the highlights to help you get started. First, the reference list. This is the list of resources that you put at the end of your paper. Every resource you cite should be in your reference list, and everything on your reference list should be in your paper. In addition, your reference list should be alphabetized by author's last name and double-spaced with a second line indented. You can see the sample paper on the online APA citation guide for an example. The basic format for an entry in the reference list looks something like this. Author's last name and first initial, the year the article was published, the title of the article, the title of the journal, volume and issue number, page numbers, and the DOI. DOI stands for Digital Object Identifier. It's kind of like a serial number for the article, and if it's there, you should include it. If not, then just leave it out. Now let's take a look at an actual example of what this looks like for a journal article. This article has 3 authors, and they are each listed by last name and then initials. Never spell an author's first name out. Next comes the year the article was published, in this case 2005. Next is the article title, and you'll notice that only the first word is capitalized. You only capitalize the first word or any proper nouns in the article title, such as country names. The journal title comes next in italics, and the full title is capitalized. Then you have the volume number, also in italics, and the issue number in parentheses, followed by page numbers. This article did not have a DOI, so it's not listed here. For books, the format is similar. Author's names, year, then the title of the book in italics. Like the title of articles, you only capitalize the first word, and in this case, the first letter after the punctuation, the colon. Then you include the publication information, the place of publication, and the publisher. Book chapters have a few extra pieces, but still include much of the same information. Author's names, year, title of chapter. Then you include information about the book that the chapter is in. You'll put in the names of the editors, followed by EDS, for editors. Then the title of the book, page numbers of the chapter, and then the publication information. So that's the simple stuff that's easy to cite. But a lot of what we find now isn't just book and journal sources, but websites, videos, and other resources. So how do you cite all that stuff? For these items, there are 4 pieces of information that you are looking for, and you want to include as much information as you have. You still want to include the author, if available, the date, the title of the document, video, website, etc. You can also include a description of the format if it's not obvious, such as a blog post, YouTube video, or whatever else it is. And perhaps most importantly, you want to include retrieval information so that whoever is looking at your paper can find the item cited. Let's look at a few examples of how this works. For this web page, we included the author first, which in this case is actually not a particular person, but a group. We put in the last date the website was updated, or the date on the page, the title of that page, and since Ad Council is an organization, we capitalize its name, and also retrieved from and the website's URL, so we can get back to that page and verify the information. For a blog post, we have the author's name, the full date of the post to make it easier to find, the title of the post, a description of the format, in this case blog post, and the retrieval information. You can also use this method to cite online newspaper or magazine articles, many of which don't have authors. This article, for example, did not have an author, so instead of including the author's name first, we put the title of the article, then the full date when the article was posted to the site, and the retrieval information. When citing an unusual source in APA, first look and see if APA has the rules for citing it. If not, then use this method to include as much information as possible to lead your reader to that source. Now on to perhaps the trickiest part of APA, in-text citation. In-text citation is used anytime you use someone else's ideas in your writing, even if you don't quote them directly. You do this to avoid plagiarism, but also to contribute to academic research. As someone is reading your paper or article, you're giving them additional sources to look up to find more information about the topic or idea you're writing about. With that in mind, you provide information in your in-text citation that will lead the reader to your reference list, which will in turn lead them to the original source. Typically, you'll include the author or author's last name and year. You'll put this information at the end of a direct quote or paraphrase, or incorporate it into the sentence itself. The most difficult part, in my opinion, is figuring out how to include research. You should include quotations that support your thesis or point or argument, but your voice should always come through. You don't want your paper to be a patchwork of other people's words. You want to put the information into your own words as much as possible. Now let's take a look at some examples. Here are a couple examples where the information has been paraphrased. In the first example, the author's names are included as part of the sentence, so they are not in parentheses. They are always followed by the publication year, which is not part of the sentence, so it is in parentheses. In the second, the information has been paraphrased and then attributed to Ryan and Jones at the end of the sentence. The next example includes direct quotes. In the first, the author's names are included as part of the sentence, followed by the year in parentheses. At the end of the quote, the page number has been added. You should include page numbers for direct quotes whenever possible to help the reader find the cited information. In the second example, the citation information is again included at the end of the sentence and is not part of the sentence, so it's in parentheses. This has been a very basic introduction to APA. You will almost certainly run into other questions as you begin to cite sources in your paper. So if you need more help, please don't hesitate to ask us. The libraries are available 24/7 to help you with your research and citation questions. So please stop by and talk to us, go online and chat with us, call us, or email us. All of our contact information is available on the library website at the address listed here. And remember that more APA help is also available through our online APA guide on the library website. It includes sample papers, more extensive examples, and links to other resources.